What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for another review of Unexpected Season 5, Episode 3, Breast Milk Pancakes. So we start off with Tiara and Dee. Tiara is Tyra's younger sister who is with Dee, and Tiara and Dee have a 2-year-old together, and Tiara is expecting her second daughter. I think she's about 32 weeks pregnant at this particular time. So Tyra has arrived in Maryland, which is the older sister. She's arrived in Maryland to get Tiara so they can fly back to Kentucky for Tiara's doctor's appointments. So Tiara has to constantly go between Maryland and Kentucky because she doesn't have her social security card. She lost it, and for some crazy reason she refuses to get a replacement card, and so she travels to Kentucky for all of her doctor's appointments. Her partner Dee says that the reason why she is he believes that she's not really concerned about her social security card because she actually likes going back home to Kentucky, obviously to be with her mom and her family, so on and so forth. And I totally believe that. I think that, she does like going back, and she ends up finding her social security card later, and I'm kind of thinking that she probably knew where it was this whole entire time, but she just didn't want to give up having to travel back to Kentucky, and probably this was like a good reason to travel back to Kentucky so often. How they afford that, I really don't know, because I'm pretty sure that it's not cheap because you have two people who are constantly traveling back and forth, the two people being Tiara and Tyra. So, and it doesn't bother Tyra to fly to Maryland or to drive to Maryland or whatever, however they're doing it. It doesn't bother her to go to Maryland to get Tiara and her daughter Ella and come back together to Kentucky, and I guess go back again to Maryland together. And then Tyra comes back alone to Kentucky. This is just a lot of rigmarole for nothing. Girl, get your social security card. If you really did lose it, get a replacement card, so you can have insurance in the state that you live in. And I think that Tyra doesn't mind going back and forth with her sister because I think to her, she gets a break from her own kid. Now, I'm not taking nothing away from Tyra as a mother, and I know that she loves her daughter, all of that good stuff. But I kind of think that sometimes Tyra is like a little bit fed up with being a mom. And I think she kind of likes that break away from her own daughter. That's why she's so willing to go back and forth between Kentucky and Maryland to get her sister. That's why it was nothing for her to go away to school, to be away from her daughter when she was away at school, because I really do believe that she's not that crazy about motherhood. I'm not saying that she doesn't love her child. I know that she does love her child, but I think just that everyday responsibility of being a mom and chasing after a toddler while, Alex is who knows where, I think that's not really her zhuzh. So Tiara finally finds her social security card, and it was in a suitcase that her daughter Ella was playing in. And so now she has no excuse but to get insurance. And so what I don't understand is, why does Ella, her daughter, have to come along with her? Is it because Dee's working and he doesn't have childcare? Because I'm not really understanding why the child has to come with them. And the whole purpose of Tyra traveling back and forth with Tiara is that, it's a lot for Tiara to have the luggage and the child, and she's pregnant. So Tyra comes there to help. But if she were to leave Ella in Kentucky, at home with her dad in Maryland, then she could travel by herself and Tiara wouldn't have to go get her. This whole thing to me seems like a lot of work for nothing. Get your social security card so you can have insurance in Maryland, number one. Number two, try to figure out some child care so that someone can watch the child while Dee goes to work and you don't have to have your sister come with you. I just don't understand why they want to go through all of this. So, and Dee also mentions that, he mentioned that she probably didn't want to get a new social security card because Tiara does enjoy going back and forth between Maryland and Kentucky, to see her family back in Kentucky. So then, like I said, she finds her social security card, and while they're in her room, I guess getting ready to go back to Kentucky, Alex sends a picture to Tyra of the two of them together, I guess when she was pregnant. So when he did that, you can automatically see Tyra's mood change. She gets really happy, she gets really giddy, and it just makes me think that, what she really wants is to be back with Alex. And even though she's like putting these stipulations, like if the other girl that he's supposedly seeing in Texas, if she's pregnant, then it's really over between her and Alex. I don't think so. I think if the other girl ends up being pregnant with Alex's child, I think that Tyra will still want to be with Alex and will still want to have a life with him. So she gets really happy when he sends her the picture, and then Tara wants Alex to get his crap together so that they can have a good life together. So even though he has this whole other female girlfriend, side piece, whatever she is to him, in Texas, Tara still feels like, that she holds some type of claim to Alex. Like he really belongs to her. Like they really belong to each other. No matter what extracurricular activities he has going on, she thinks that this is her man and that they will never, that they were meant to be. So she doesn't really care that he's fooling around with somebody else. This is just completely stupid to me. Absolutely stupid and nonsensical, because if he went to a whole other state to see another chick, and to you that's still okay, and you still get giddy and happy and you start giggling like a 3-year-old when he sends pictures of the two of y'all together, like that's supposed to mean something. I guess she feels like, oh, he's with another woman but he's sending pictures of us together to me, as if somehow she like won the battle or something. I don't know. I don't understand the way these people are thinking. So, Tiara, her sister, says in her confessional that when Tyra was away at college, Alex was cheating on Tyra, and he wasn't this awesome single dad that everyone made him out to be. He wasn't deserving of that praise. So I guess people thought that when Tyra went away to college, that Alex was really, stepping up to the plate, being the sole caretaker of their daughter. Aaliyah, is her name Aaliyah? Being the sole caretaker of their daughter. And, I guess he was getting a lot of praises on the internet of being an awesome dad. And Tiara is telling y'all it wasn't even like that. He was cheating on Tyra, which is like, okay, that doesn't mean he wasn't a good dad. If she would have said something like he was out all night and he really wasn't there for the child, and it was his mother or his grandmother that was really being there for the child, I get it. But if all you can say was that he was cheating on Tyra, well, Tyra was doing her own thing in college. And that particular season, when they would show scenes of her in college, they were kind of hinting at that she may have been interested in one of the football players, because she was a cheerleader, that she may have been interested in one of the football players. The show was insinuating that. It wasn't any concrete evidence of that, but it seemed like the way that she would like be ogling some of the football players, like she wouldn't have minded to tap into some of that. So I don't understand why Tiara wants to take anything away from Alex for being a dad, if all she can say was that he was cheating on Tyra. Tyra was gone. Tyra was doing her own thing. Tyra acted like, if she didn't have to come back, she wouldn't have come back. And I'm going to just have to assume that Alex was, taking care of his child while Tyra was doing her own thing. I don't know. So Tiara also tells us that if Tyra accepts Alex, it's going to push Tyra back even more, and she won't feel like doing schoolwork or being a mom, because she'll keep going through these heartbreaks with Alex. Now, I don't see how anything can make you not want to be a mom, other than you just don't want to be a mom. I don't think that the ups and downs of the relationship that you're having with the father of your child will make you not want to be a mom, or will take anything away from you being a mom. Because whether you're married or you're single or you got a boyfriend or you don't got a boy, whatever the situation is, you're going to go through ups and downs with the father of your children. And that's just what it is. But I can't imagine it being towards like it's going to take you away from being a mom. So that kind of like confirmed for me that Tyra probably doesn't embrace motherhood as much as probably the next person. Like I said, it doesn't mean that she doesn't love her child. It just means that maybe just that everyday responsibility of being a mom is just not her thing. So they finally landed in Kentucky. Their mom was ready to pick them up. And the mom was telling us that when she first found out that Tiara was pregnant, it was also when she first found out that Tiara was also sexually active. So she got hit with a 1-2 punch with Tiara all at once, finding out that she's sexually active and on top of that, she's pregnant. So I'm surprised that the mother survived that, but she did. And she said that she can really accept Tiara having a second child now because she saw how good of a mother Tiara was with her first child. And it seems like her and Dee have a very strong relationship. So the mother really isn't that worried or concerned about Tiara being a mom for the second time. Moving on to Jenna and Aiden. So Jenna is meeting up with her best friend Giovanna. Giovanna is going to be Luca's godmother because his baptism is coming up soon. And Jenna identifies herself as a crunchy mom. So she's really into breastfeeding exclusively. She uses her breast milk for everything. We see her using the breast milk to make pancakes for her son. She's pouring breast milk in his bath water because it's supposed to help his skin. And I think crunchy moms are also really into organic food or organic baby food, and I think they're also into cloth diapering. So that's my understanding of a crunchy mom. Everything has to be natural, everything has to be organic, and your child is on breast milk like exclusively. So she says that her and Aiden are over the honeymoon phase of their relationship. They're deep in reality. The nitty gritty has hit, and they're going through their ups and downs as a couple and as young parents. Jenna says that she stays home while Aiden works. And in her confessional, she says that you can either have a bum baby daddy or a working one. And so she'd rather choose a working one. So when she made that comparison between a bum baby daddy and a working one, that tells me that even though she has a working baby daddy, he comes with a lot of problems. And those problems are worth it because he's working and providing, as opposed to having a bum baby daddy who may be more hands-on and more easier to live with, but doesn't work and doesn't provide. So Giovanna, her friend, in her confessional, she says that Aiden is more of a provider than a hands-on dad. He works a lot, and then when he comes home, he's too tired to really do anything else. And so Jenna is like a mom. She's got to be a mom and on top of everything 24 hours around the clock because Aiden really doesn't assist with anything because he's always working or he's always tired from working. So even though I guess, the relationship may be suffering and he may not be that hands-on of a father, according to Jenna, she'd rather have that because he's a provider than to have the opposite. Jenna also says that between the drama with her father and the crap that she's going through with Aiden, something needs to change or she's just going to break. So her and her dad are not on the best of terms. When her and Aiden were living with her dad, there were a lot of issues there. And I think the issues were centered, I don't really remember, but I remember that they clashed a lot with the relationship between Jenna and her mom. The dad really can't stand his ex-wife, Jenna's mother, cannot stand her at all. And so I think that Jenna being pregnant and having this child was causing him to have to face his ex-wife a lot, because Jenna was having like baby showers and all kinds of stuff. So he was forced to have to confront or deal with his ex-wife, which he really didn't want to. And it was very stressful for Jenna to have to do two of everything because her parents just couldn't get along. And I also feel like maybe the father had an issue with Jenna spending time with her mom, because he didn't think that she was, that great of a mother. And, I don't know if there were times when he felt like Jenna preferred her mom over him. I don't know. But he was having, I think the cause of Jenna and her dad, the cause of their issues has a lot to do with the relationship that Jenna has with her mother. I think that's the cause of it, unless I'm missing something. So she's having to deal with that. And then also she was living with her dad, but then she says that her dad kicked her out. Her dad says he did not kick her out. She chose to leave. And she feels like he kicked her out, so she really doesn't have much to do with her dad anymore. Her dad says that she really was a daddy's girl for a good chunk of her life until, she got pregnant and moved in with him and all of that. And so she's no longer a daddy's girl, so their relationship is really suffering. So we are at Matt and Kathy's house, Matt being Jenna's father, Kathy being Jenna's stepmother. It is Matt's birthday, and he's having a very small celebration with just a couple of friends and his family. And he texted Jenna to see if she was going to come. At first, she didn't reply. So he tells us that after the tell all from last year, everything went completely left with him and Jenna. He says that Jenna kept threatening to move out. So Matt told her, if you're going to threaten to do it, you might as well just go ahead and do it. So in his mind, she left on her own because she took him up on her threat. And in her mind, her father was kicking her out, I guess, when he gave her the ultimatum, or when he said to her, if you're going to do it, just do it. So I guess she interpreted that as he doesn't want me around. So Matt does want them to move back in with him because he misses his daughter, and obviously he misses his grandson, and he wants to be around his grandson more. And so Jenna says that she did plan to go to her dad's birthday party, but her baby got sick. So she texted her father that she couldn't make it because Luca ended up getting a really bad cold, and he texted back, it's fine, I love you. So we'll have to see how their relationship progresses as the season moves on. Moving on to Kylan and Jason. Oh, one more thing about Jenna and Aiden. I wonder if we're going to see Aiden at all because they live together, but we have yet to see him. So I'm wondering if he's like done with the whole reality TV thing, but he still wants her to film because it's a check for them. But we haven't seen him. I know he's there. I hope he does make an appearance. Now their relationship to me was a little bit on the toxic side because Aiden had no patience, and when she was pregnant, he really wasn't that caring or sympathetic. I thought he was a little bit rough around the edges. So I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with Aiden, but I think when the child was born at the hospital, I think he kind of melted a little bit and he got a little bit soft, a little bit more caring, but he's probably back to his old ways where he's just not going to be bothered if he doesn't want to be bothered. And that's probably taking a serious toll on their relationship. Moving on to Kylan and Jason. So they have a meeting with the midwife at the birthing center. So they were going back and forth between a home birth or giving birth at a birthing center. Hospital was not an option because Jason said so, and Kylan does whatever Jason wants. So Jason was like, we're not going to do it in a hospital. According to him, hospitals don't accept unmarried teenage dads, and they give more attention to the mom, and they treat him like crap. I find that hard to believe. I don't know if he doesn't want to deal with the cost of hospital bills. Maybe that's the reason why he doesn't want to go through a hospital for her to give birth. But I just don't think that hospitals have this reputation of treating teenage dads any worse or any better than anybody else. And I just think that he has a problem with authority, and maybe there's more rules in a hospital because there's more liability. So he probably just has an issue with authority. They could have told him, can you wait outside while we give her an examination? And he probably would have flipped out because he doesn't want to be told what to do. I don't know. But that whole explanation of why he's choosing a birthing center or why he wanted a home birth as opposed to a hospital birth, his explanation to me didn't make any sense at all. So they're meeting with the midwife, and the midwife tells them that we don't do epidurals here. This is a epidural free zone. And then Jason says in his confessional that a lot of people in my family have had epidural free births, and they say it's painless and fun. What? Excuse me? I cannot stand someone who's never experienced anything all of a sudden acting like he's an expert because of what he's seen on YouTube or what someone has told him of their own experience, which is like 1 out of 1,000,000. You are in no position, sir, to talk about how epidural free births go. You cannot make that generalization, or that make that conclusion that they're fun and pain free. You've never given birth. I don't think you've been around a lot of females who've given birth without an epidural. So I'm going to need you to hush and sit the hell down. So Kylan didn't know what a pediatrician was because a midwife asked her, "Have you picked a pediatrician for? Have you picked a pediatrician?" That's what she asked. "Have you picked a pediatrician?" And then Kylan was like, "You mean for me? No." And the midwife was like, "No, for the baby. A pediatrician is a doctor for the baby, and you're about to be a mom." And you don't want to be around your parents. You want to be dictated by Jason over there. Okay. So Jason in his confessional says that he likes the birth center because they're very inclusive with the fathers in the birthing process, because he wants to be very hands on with the whole birthing process. I don't know if he really has an interest in the birthing process or if he's just a control freak and he feels like he has to have his hands in every single thing. And I don't know, like, and I really want to know, how did he become like this? Because if he was a very rebellious child, you would think that he would not want to be as involved as he is with his teenage girlfriend's pregnancy process. But he is involved with that, which is a good thing, that he is taking an interest. He's going with her to the appointments. He went with her to the midwife appointment. That's a good thing. That's a positive thing. And we're happy about that. But as far as telling her how he thinks she should give birth and how she should have, what kind of a relationship she should have with her parents and all of that, where does he get this from? Is he just completely spoiled by his parents, that, he feels like because he can run his parents, he can run everybody else? I don't understand how this guy got this way, because the little bit that I've seen of his parents, they don't seem like they would have raised such a tyrant. So, he says how he prefers a birthing center, and he also said that he doesn't want any parents in the birthing room. He just wants it to be him and Kylan. And he says that his parents gave birth without their parents being around. Well, that was a different time. That was a different time. Now, if you take away how COVID has affected everything, in more recent years, I have seen where people have given birth and like practically their whole family is there. The father of the woman giving birth is there. The uncles are there. The brothers. I mean, like, everybody's there in the birthing room nowadays. So I don't understand why he's got this hard and fast rule that no parents can be allowed. Because if anything, Kylan's mom should be there. I don't understand why he's against that. Like, is he worried that Colin is going to listen to her mom and not listen to him because maybe because of the fact that she's given birth before? Moving on. Let me calm down. And Colin says that, it's always Jason's way. So Kylan and Jason, they are at Kylan's parents' house. The parents really miss their daughter. You can tell from looking at her mother that she is like probably borderline depressed, that her pregnant teenage daughter is not with her. Because as a mom, all she wants to do is to take care of her child who's about to have a child. She just wants to take care of Kylan, support Kylan, be there for Kylan. And she can't, because this knucklehead is keeping her away from her parents. And I've also noticed that, as from the episodes that we've seen, whenever Kylan is at her own parents' house, Jason is there. I don't think she's visited in the first 4 episodes. I don't think she's been to her parents' house without Jason. And Kylan probably has that type of personality where she gets very attached to someone. And so when she got pregnant and her boyfriend was showing this really dominant side of him, she kind of probably gravitated towards him because this is the father of her child, this is her boyfriend, and so she probably felt like, there was nothing wrong with her probably being with him more. But then, like, she just kind of like attached herself to him, where before she was very, very attached to her mom. So it's like she has to always be attached to someone. And at least her mom will never get tired of her. there's gonna come a time where Jason will get tired of her, and she needs to make sure that things are good with her own parents, because there's gonna come a time when Jason is gonna leave her high and dry, and she will have absolutely nowhere to go but home. And you still want your parents to accept you, and you don't want to burn that bridge, Kylan. But we'll see how that works out. So they're at her parents' house, and her parents miss her a lot. Her mom is really taking it hard. The dad is just trying to cope. So the dad is surprised that they didn't want to give birth in a hospital, and so they explain why they preferred a birthing center over a hospital. And then Kylan's mom would have loved it if she could have participated with Kylan's, pregnancy. This whole pregnancy, I guess her mother has kind of been pushed to the side, but the mother would have loved it if because I think the father was explaining, Kylan's father was talking about how, your mother really wanted to be a part of the process, of your doctor's appointments, and, just being there to support you every day and being able to take care of you every day. And even me, as a grown adult woman living on my own and being married and away from my parents, I would have loved it if my mom came and took care of me every day while I was pregnant, especially during those last few months. I would have loved it, because when she came to see me, when she came to stay with me after I had my first child, I loved her help. I loved my mom being there. So as a teenager, especially an only child and someone who was very, very close and attached to her mom, I can't imagine her preferring anyone else to be there for her other than her mom. And I don't even think that she could have gone to one doctor's appointment with her mom, because this Jason kid has completely taken over Kylan's life. I don't think he would have allowed the mom to go to one doctor's appointment with her own daughter. It's just bizarre. This is just so bizarre to me. So Kylan tells her parents that, it's a dad thing, for him to always be the one to go with her for her appointments and so on and so forth. And then her dad says, well, it's a mom thing too, for your mom to want to also participate in your pregnancy journey. And then Kylan says, we want to do a water birth, I think. And Jason was like, what do you mean you think? Like, I've already told you how it's going to go. What is there to think about? You're not supposed to think on your own. I do all of your thinking for you. There is nothing to think about because I've made the decision. That's how it came across to me. So the father says in his confessional that talking to his daughter is like, he has to talk through Jason to talk to his daughter, because Jason is always there. I don't think they've had a moment's alone with their daughter since she moved in with Jason and his parents. And so you're asking Kylan a question, and Jason is the one answering it. Kylan, girl, let me just get through this. So her parents see how she does everything just to appease Jason, just to make Jason happy. And it seems like the parents are walking on eggshells to me whenever Jason's around, because they don't want to upset him, because he controls everything. And I guess if they make him mad, he's probably not going to allow her to come see her parents ever again. So the producers ask, this is a time when there's a confessional with Kylan and her mom and dad. And the producers ask, are they going to come to the birth? And Kylan says, next question, not trying to start any issues. And then she says, I'm going to have to talk to Jason about it. Then the producers ask Marie, which is her mother, would you like to be there at the birth? And Kylan interrupts and says to her mother, don't answer. And then her mom says, well, I am her mom. And then Kylan says, I said, don't answer. Y'all, what is really going on? What is really going on here? What is really going on? Like, I don't understand. I'm not understanding this at all. How this kid, Jason, has completely taken over another human being's life to the point where her parents can't even answer a simple question, because Jason has trained Kylan, trained her to control her parents, basically. I don't know. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know. And I'm like, Kylan, girl, this ain't it. This is not what you want. This is not what you want. I am so sorry if you think that the only symbolism of love is someone controlling you and obsessing over you and not allowing you to breathe and keeping you away from your family. But girl, this ain't it. This is not love. I don't know what the hell this is. This is borderline like emotional abuse. This is not it. So, like I said, she shouldn't be pushing her parents away or creating any kind of conflict or tension with her parents, because Jason's not going to be around forever. And when he's long gone and when he's moved on to the next chick and moved on to the next baby and left you high and dry, you're going to be running back home, right back to your parents. And you better hope that your parents are still going to have that door open for you. Moving on to Emerson and Mason. So neither of them have a driver's license. They have to be driven everywhere. And, just pathetic. Y'all are about to be parents and y'all have 9 months to get a driver's license. Like, what the hell are y'all doing? So in the previous episodes, Erica had said that she wasn't comfortable with the baby going over to Mason's house because his mother has a drug addiction that she's, fighting through. And so Erica is not that crazy about her grandbaby going there. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think that they're going to leave her alone when she's in the throes of her addiction again and she's, on crack and meth and heroin and all kinds of stuff, that Mason and his dad and everybody else is just going to leave the baby? Like, what do you think is going to happen? I'm pretty sure Mason, his family, everybody else will love that child just as much as you do. Now you're trying to be all super duper controlling with your grandchild when you weren't that controlling with your own daughter. So Mason's mom, she has been in and out of jail and she recently came out of rehab, but listening to her talk of the last episode, to me, she makes more sense than Mason's father and Emerson's mother, because she said that she would have told her son exactly what to do to not get anybody pregnant. She would have given him the things that he needed to prevent that from happening, instead of just flapping your gums about, hey, if you do this, your girl's going to get pregnant, so don't do it. She would have actually given him the tools that he needed to prevent that from happening. So to me, she makes the most sense out of all these adults. Okay, so supposedly they're talking about Mason spending the night at Emerson's house, I guess, to be with her more, because they live so far away from each other. So in order for them to have as much quality time as possible before the baby's born, I guess, I don't know. I guess he's going to be spending the night at her house. And Erica is asking him, are you okay with sleeping on the couch? And he was like, yeah, I'm fine with that. And Emerson is like confused about that. She's like, okay, I'm already pregnant. I'm not going to get pregnant again if I'm already pregnant. So why does my boyfriend, the father of my child, have to sleep on the couch? And the mother is like, I understand. I get it. You're already pregnant. The damage has already been done. I understand that. But I have other children in the home as well. And I don't want them to see you and your boyfriend sleeping together in the same room, because this is going to influence them. I guess it's her house, her children, her rules. She can say whatever she wants. She can lay down the law any way she wants. And if Emerson and Mason don't like it, then Emerson and Mason need to get their own home and do whatever the hell they want to do. But I don't see anything wrong with I don't know. It's her home and her kids. There's nothing really wrong with that. I understand that you're concerned about your younger children and you probably feel like you made a mistake with Emerson, so you don't want to make that mistake again with your other children. Totally understandable. It is what it is. But Emerson feels like her mother is a hypocrite about this whole thing of, premarital sex and boys and girls sleeping in the same room, because her own mom had her when she was only 15. So she's like, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, I don't know. Maybe it is hypocritical, but I also kind of see it as she learned from her own mistake. She doesn't want her kids to repeat what she did, even though Emerson basically is. But just because her mom was a teen mom doesn't mean that she's hypocritical when she says that she doesn't want her own children to make the mistakes that she made. It's just her being a mom. And that is the end of my review. If you made it this far, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it, more than you'll ever know, because I appreciate the fact that you would want to spend time watching this video and listening me listening to me jaw jack about the show. Thank you. Go ahead and leave a comment if you want. Don't forget to rate the video, and most definitely, I urge you to please subscribe. And I will definitely talk to you later. Bye.